Hi, Phil here with another food testing video, and I got something neat here. It's the Grinch hot sauce. A Christmas gift. The Grinch Naughty and Nice collection of hot sauce. Mean Machine hot sauce. Let's see. Rebel with a Cause jalapeno hot sauce. Mean Machine. Hot pepper hot sauce. Boo Hoo habanero hot sauce. This is Count Your Blessings. The Grinch. So, look at this guy. What is he doing? Heat up the holidays and welcome your family and friends with an assortment of premium hot sauces. Select the gourmet flavor and heat level of your choice and add recipes, tips, marinades, eggs, soups. Wait, not green eggs and ham? Chow down on this in bed. Phil, eating food in bed, that's disgusting. Oh, I disagree. I think it's living the dream. Alright. Nice, Grinchy sort of hot sauce for the holidays. I saw this in the store and wanted it so bad that I, bought it and gave it to myself as a Christmas gift. You ever have those times? Oh dear, you ever have those situations? But look at this. Ooh. Big red and green selection. And I got a few hors d'oeuvres here so I can test out exactly what it tastes like. There's different types here. I think I'll go with the habanero. I'll start on this. Uh-oh. Packaging. There's always so much packaging. Yeah. Nice bottle. Yeah, look at this. Look at these things. It's got like glass bottles. So it's real fancy. It almost looks like old-timey whiskey or something. You'd see in them Wild West movies, which I regret. I didn't see too much of those. My opinion on Western films and such, I think I never really saw too much of the source material itself. It's always just another TV show imitating the genre and themes and tropes. So, you'd have like your cartoons you watch, like the Backyardigans, Rugrats, maybe Transformers just tried to do it just ever so slightly, like other shows imitating it, like and the tropes. And I'm always referencing cartoons. Fievel Goes West. That's not a good representation of it. It's not the source material. I saw this one Western a while back. And yeah, spaghetti Westerns. I find it a little slow, truth be told. Ooh, let me try out this habanero hot sauce. No, this is a hot pepper. Nice. And I do love hot sauce. But, yeah, when you actually look at the source material for the Western movies, they're a bit slow, I find. Some of these things are made in the 60s and 70s. They're in color. But old films do have some pacing issues, I feel. Calamity Jane, the animated series Calamity Jane. That was a genuine Western cartoon, and I did watch it when I was a little kid because, It was the 90s and it had that edge. I think they were trying to like imitate Batman a little bit because it was surprisingly like grim and edgy for a cartoon, Western cartoon. There's a gun shooting, the big shootout at high noon. And let me just try to taste this. This is good. Appears to be a mozzarella stick, but now that I got spice to it, it really adds something to it. Real punch. There's high noon, the gun shooters, and what else? All the tropes. The old-timey prospector, like the old prospector from Toy Story 2. It's like, I'm in mint condition. I'm still in my box, I tell ya. Says the toy. Meet the old prospector and Woody the man himself. It's time for Woody's roundup. Come on, gather round. Yeah. And of course, Rockstar Games seems to actually rather like Westerns, as not only did they release Red Dead Revolver for PlayStation 2, but they also made this sort of sequel in the same setting, Red Dead Redemption. And then they made the sequel to that called Red. Holy shit, what's wrong with my mouth? Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, they didn't change the name. They just used a number rather than like changing up the last word of the series. You're setting up a pattern and then you don't follow through with it. Red Dead Revolver. It's almost a bit of a tongue twister now that I think about it. Red Dead Revolver for the PlayStation 2. It was fun. It was like playing out a Western as a video game. Like the makers of GTA made a Western video game, and you could be a cowboy and you can shoot up the crooks and bad guys with the revolver. There's bandits, and there's banditos, there's crooks, and you can be a bounty hunter, and you can hunt down all the desperados and bad guys, and you go to the saloon and you play a round of Texas Hold'em and poker, but then the fight breaks out and people are fighting and the cowboys are throwing their beer bottles at each other. And bottles shaped similar to this, which could contain whiskey. Habanero hot sauce. Get a little try of that. Spicy. And then they go down to Mexico there's the banditos with their sombreros on. The big guy with his mustache, he's like, now I rob you. Bang, 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 bang. And there's this gunfights in the Wild West. Good hors d'oeuvres. Oh, it gets so spicy. I like the spicy stuff, yeah. The Grinch. The Grinch themed spicy stuff. Why am I always talking about Western stuff? But yeah. There's the big old battle. It's similar to the Alamo, which you have to remember the Alamo. And the fortress is under siege, and people are shooting their revolvers. A big shootout. Oh, that's so cool. I guess things like that did make me have a positive opinion of Westerns, even though I don't really partake all that much. And now that I think about it, Bioshock Infinite is just a little bit similar to that genre. It takes place in was it 1913 or something? No. Or is it 190 something? But anyway, it's very old-timey, sort of like a transition between the Wild West and the modern times, relatively speaking. I like history, but sometimes I falter in my understanding of it. Now we have the jalapeno sauce. Nice. And westerns. Oh, this one's green, just like the Grinch. All the Wild West. I should have played more of those video games. Red Dead Redemption and the sequel. But that's just it. The peculiar title they have. Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption, and then Red Dead Redemption 2. So they didn't give it another name? Like some other word that starts with R? That would make sense. I'm going to try this green jalapeno sauce. Look at that greens. Uh-oh. Hope I don't do too much jalapeno. It's notoriously spicy. Uh-oh. Oh.
The post on 4chan uses a profile picture of what appears to be the Grinch in a mask holding a gun.
That's nice. Green. Strange. I would have imagined it'd be a bit more spicy than that. But it's certainly opening up my sinuses. Oh yeah. And Backyardigans had like maybe 3 or maybe even 5 different Western themed adventures. They had a whole bunch of episodes that were Westerns in some sense. Does the movie The Indian in the Cupboard also count as a Western? That literally does have cowboys and Indians fighting. I actually listened to the audiobook a while back, and it is a bit different from the film, which I also liked. But similar to the case of the movie Downsizing, I feel like it doesn't quite go very far with the concept of miniature shrunken people and adventures at their size, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, stuff like that, or Toy Story, which is about toys coming to life and having their own adventures and such. Now, of course, it's like the opposite of Toy Story, in a way, I feel, that story. Because like it's saying, no, according to the Indian in the Cupboard, they are very much real people that have been summoned from the past through magic. You should treat them with real respect and such. They are not toys. They're like, but I made these plastic toys and I put them in the cupboard, they come to life. You're like, no. Treat them with respect and don't treat them like toys, which is, I feel, in some ways the opposite sentiment of what's going on with, that Toy Story and such. Mr. Cat, that food is not for you. Hey, Mr. Cat, that's not food for you. What are you doing on this bed? I like these stories. And of course, it's not politically correct to say cowboys and Indians. Why don't you play Cowboys and Aliens instead? Which is a movie I didn't get around to seeing, but it did look kind of cool. I'm going to try out a few more hot sauce types. Oh, there's some of this. Of course, like all little kids, I had toys. Little plastic army men and plastic Indians and cowboys. Like fight each other. Don't go calling them that. That's not politically correct. Like, furthermore, we can't have that kind of content on television anymore. No. What? All the guns? Well, that, and we can't have any conflicts with cowboys and Indians fighting each other. Like, so all the Wild West stuff, probably why the genre is not in a good place. Or at least, well, it's just like in Toy Story. The cowboys and such, it's all the old stuff, and the new stuff is all sci-fi. Spaceman like Buzz Lightyear. Oh my. And that was kind of environment I grew up in. Let's try a bit more of this jalapeno. Or what type is it? Hot pepper. Ooh. Oh my, I suspect this one is probably the spiciest of them all. Yes, I think so. I think this hot pepper, this Mean Machine hot pepper, is the spiciest of them all. Habanero. That's also quite spicy. Why am I obsessed with Westerns lately? I mean, when I was a kid, it all just seemed to, it was okay, but it was a bit passé, like only a genre you dip your toes into, like the cartoon characters try it out for one episode or another. Not a feature-length series, but some of them are. Oh, and of course there was that episode of Reboot that also had a Western episode. See, because it's a series that takes place inside a computer, everything's virtual and such. But also the video games are virtual. So, the user, which is us, human beings, activate a computer game on their computer, and the system's like, warning, incoming game, a big purple GameCube, I should say, does land from the sky, settles onto the surface, and anyone trapped inside that cube when it lands will now be part of an entirely different world, a video game. You all have to become, all you people, you have to become video game characters and play out the games against the user. And if you lose, you will experience a fate worse than death. You will be nullified, basically turned into what is essentially a large slug that has the behavior and mentality of a vermin of sorts. Slithers around, bites things, and it's a fate worse than death. And real tragic when some characters get stuck that way. Yeah, this is the lore of Reboot, the series, and I really loved it. As a kid, I was always hooked on it. And it means people like us human beings, us users who use computers and stuff, we feel kind of like Lovecraftian monsters doing these horrible things to living computer programs, the binomes, which I only recently found out was a play on words of binomial and gnomes, as in fantasy creatures. And then again, the humanoid characters are called sprites. Now, that's also a video game term for when a video game character represented in, pixel art and such. But it also means sprites as in, like, fantasy elves and fairy folk and such. So, yeah, maybe that does have something to do with, I don't know, Phalor gnomes and sprites and things. But yeah, one of the episodes of Reboot was a Western. He's like, a Western showdown. That seems fitting, says Bob, as he reboots and transforms into a cowboy who's here to, prevent the user from, robbing the train, which is another Western cliche. But of course, this particular episode was like the most ultimate gamble on his part because he's going into a game with the intention of losing, unlike usual. You see, he dragged his newest enemy of this episode, the Code Master, who's like this ninja sorcerer sort of monster. And oddly enough, you'd think this character has so much gravitas and amazingness about him. He's like, they're like a league of assassin sorcerers who can do basically anything. And the real key thing is he basically can one shot immobilize Bob the Guardian. You see, they have this sorcerer staff. Like, Guardians are reliant on their key tool, which is like a watch thing. It's sort of like a nerfed version of the Green Lantern ring. They can basically do anything they want with these power. However, it can only do one task at a time, it seems. So if a Codemaster immobilizes their wristwatch, their key tool, their multi-tool, if that's immobilized, they're pretty low on powers. They're only as powerful as a regular sprite, a regular person. And when a wizard Codemaster does that, they're essentially one-shotting their enemies. So, like, this is a very powerful individual, very powerful character. So you'd think they'd appear in other episodes, but no, this guy was like one episode, never spoken of again, never heard from again, absolutely no acknowledgement. And that's shocking because, like, it's shocking. This incredibly powerful character with lore and such associated with him and a unique character design completely gone from the series. And if you actually saw a picture of this guy, like, you'd see he's like this sort of anthropomorphic bug man. He's real creepy, and he's got these insectoid limbs, and he has like magic powers like you can't believe, and yet he's like gone from the series. Only appeared in that one episode, and never acknowledged ever again because, I don't know. It's like they just straight up forgot something really important. Like, this is right up there with the concept of the web in that show, which I'm not even going to get into. But yeah, Bob was making this plan where he's like, this time, if I drag this enemy into the game with me and I lose the game, both of us will get nullified. I'm willing to make the ultimate sacrifice to defend the system. And like, oh wow, that's some serious gravitas in the situation. Ah, dear. And it's a cowboy-themed episode. Oh. Spicy. The Codemaster, he's like, why have you done this? Why have you betrayed me? I deliberately lost the game. Now we will both fail. What is the consequence of failing this game? Well, it's complete and total nullification for 2. That's you. And the Codemaster's like, unbelievable. He's like, my powers do not work in this world. You have tricked me. Anyway. Oh, man. Spicy food. Westerns. I hope I'm not being too loud. I can't imagine so. I mean, everyone else is up to their own business. Oh, my. This habanero sauce is also quite spicy. Nice. Now, of course, there's the jalapeno sauce, which is green. And it's very fitting for the Grinch. Funny. I almost thought there was like some sort of counterintuitive logic behind the sauce color. It's always the sauce that isn't red that's the more spicy one, because it's, throwing you for a curve. Not always red hot. But from what I've tasted of this, it's not necessarily the case. Here I am spending more time talking about westerns and such. And I'm not even all that into it, really. And yet, well, maybe I am. It's good green sauce. Nice. Rebel with a cause, it says. Nice. But what if that green drink is really absinthe? It's the green fairy. Glug, glug, glug. Okay, whatever. Nice. So many nice things. Oh, I gotta try another one. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna try it. Mr. Cat, what are you doing? Well, maybe I'll cut it short here.